Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. All right, so this message is a wild one. This is a very specific message. It's a very specific situation. So I'm hearing hidden hand and a hidden motive. And I really feel like this has to do with a parental energy. Could be a mom, could be a dad. And this person is very manipulative and they're very controlling and they're very strategic. This parent hides their true nature. They hide their manipulation very well because I feel like either this parent and or this family has a different image to the outside world than they actually are. And I think depending on how, smooth they are with this, how practiced, how intelligent, even to their own children and like within the home, they could be seen very differently than they actually are because people misunderstand this person's personality because of their strategic nature. So this all came to a head though at a particular karmic period. And I'm hearing that Leviathan energy, and I'm hearing myself say from like a previous reading that this Leviathan energy, remember, it's the spirit of confusion and chaos. And it moves beneath the surface for quite a while, and then it kind of rears its ugly head. And that's the strategic part of this parent, because this parent will make moves behind the scenes, and they're very casual about it. That's why there's this misunderstanding of this person's personality. They're very casual about it. It's just through like suggestion, or they're kind of implant a value or an idea in order to set up the move, because I'm hearing checkmate. So, and it's kind of spread out the way they play the long game. And that's why it's hard for people to pick up on the fact that this person's actually very nasty. They're very controlling. They've got a temper, but I feel like it's like a controlled rage. And the way in which their rage is expressed is not recognized as a rage or like a blowout, but it actually is. This person's like kind of impulsive, but they channel their rage into some kind of controlling behavior, into this like long-term game plan strategy behavior, and it's all behind the scenes. And so then actually when it surfaces, it's this very casual kind of energy. So I really think that when this parent is being controlling, it appears like it's very casual to this child, and it feels like they're making their own choice, and it feels like maybe they're taking a leap of faith, or that this was just a spur of the moment decision, and that this is just, hey, like there was just this opportunity and I'm just going along with it, but really this was set up by this parent. And of course this is a parental energy, so obviously they knew this child like since the day that they were born, so they have a very good understanding of this child, what makes them tick. That's, again, a part of a manipulation. And I really think that this parent intended to have like full psychological control over this child all the days of their lives and kind of went about setting that into motion. But I do think there was always a fear around losing control of this child. And I think this is like kind of coupled up with this strategy energy, because it's like I'm hearing, I always knew the day would come. And it feels very much like, well, I always knew that you were going to turn 18 one day, and then you were going to want to fly the nest, and you were going to want to have your own life. But this parent kind of set up maneuvers, and they kind of tried to set up a situation or something like on ramp. I'm hearing like they tried like ramping up to the day that this child turned 18 or something in order to maintain that control. But it was through some kind of underhanded means, and it's using some kind of scorpionic energy. So it could be through using schmegs, money, strategy, money after marriage, crisis, any of those like scorpionic themes here. So this could have, like when all of this kind of hit ahead in this like very karmic moment, this very karmic choice, I feel like this child could have been like 18. I mean, I'm saying child because this is like an adult, right? But it's this person's child. So it's like, it could have happened like, in that young adulthood, from like 18 to 25, that like emerging adulthood period where this person is like trying to leave, from under their parents' roof and everything and try to stand up on their own 2 feet and build their own life, which has to do with like a partner or something. Or it could have had to do with the meeting of a partner. I think for some that's a big trigger, even if it was one of these other situations, because this parent is what I'm hearing. It's like they understand, this is so telling, but I'm hearing they understand the control of love. That's a certain way of looking at it. It's because they have an agenda with this child, because like in my head, I'm like, don't you mean to say you understand the strength of love? Like the healing power of love, like love is such a strong, no, this person's saying I understand like the control of love, the ability for love to move on the psyche. And I'm hearing this quote in the Bible. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it was talking about like, and a man like leaves his home something, or like his mother's bosom or something, and then like goes to his wife. So it's like that kind of represents that kind of shift, that transfer of, okay, well, I'm associated over here. Now I leave that and I go and I build my own thing. And that's my primary focus. And I have to be making decisions that are in alignment with that. That's basically what this parent is afraid of. I also think this could have happened when this child actively moved away. And for some, there's like an overlapping of all these energies. Because like, okay, some kids are going to turn 18 and like move off to college, you know? And I think this parent was trying to lure this child back, you know, or they were trying to set a trap for this child to have to go back to them, or to not move too far away, or to maybe they're trying to sabotage some kind of freedom, strength, independent giving gesture. They were trying to act like they were in support of, but really undermining and sabotaging. But it was through this kind of long-term game plan, and it was through a series of seemingly unrelated events, and through events that seemingly could not be traced back here to this person. If this person has money and they're extremely low down, they could have paid someone to harm somebody over here. They could have tried to send somebody towards this love interest, because yeah. It's okay. So when this child moved away from this parent in whatever way that they did, they were going after their happiness, their freedom, their independence. And then the way that they were, when they talked to this parent, I feel like whenever they moved away, they fell in love. Like they were having a good time or something like that. But I think for a lot of them, they fell in love. I think for most of you, that's with a person, or this parent was afraid of them falling in love with a person. It also could have been that they were just really in love with like this new place that they were in, this new culture. They were in love with their school. They loved their field of study. Like they were happy and they were thriving, and there would be no earthly natural reason why this child would like all of a sudden turn around to go right back to a stage of life that they had outgrown, right? So there's inappropriate family dynamics here. This is a parent that is not actually parenting. It's all about themselves. They have an agenda, right? But so this person that I think, so they could have told this parent that they were in love here with someone, and that's what like sparked that fear, because again, they know like the control of love, and they were like, well, that's it, like they're gonna want to stay, like they're gonna want to stay where they're at because they're in love with this person. And whoever this was that they were in love with, I think is a pretty cool person, actually. Like they're kind of a King of Wands type, like a mixture of the King of Wands and a Queen of Cups. And I actually am getting a really good vibe off of this, because I think that they are they're very stable. They have some kind of maybe like long-term plan, or this person like loves this person and was developing like a long-term plan. Like here with this person, there's something to do with an older sister. So maybe this person is an older sister, has an older sister, met through an older sister, or there's some kind of karmic contract with an older sister. There's some kind of also connection there to an older sister. But I think this person is like confident, like established, like definitely within themselves. They have some kind of long-term plan. They have like leadership qualities. They're very stable. They're emotionally stable as well. And there's a lot of love here, like between these two people. And I feel like this parent set out to ruin or sabotage that. This parent set out to rival themselves against this love interest. And again, I think for most of you, it's a person, but it also could have been some kind of new path that this person was on, and it was lighting up their soul, and it was leading them to their independence, which you would hope that a parent would want. But this parent doesn't actually want that. But they pretend like they want that. But it's all part of their strategy. And so they lined something up here, some kind of thought pattern. And it could be even to make this person fearful. And for some, they paid someone. This is crazy, but they could have paid someone to interfere in some way. Maybe to mess with this love interest. That's for some. That's crazy. But it also could have been like they paid someone to vandalize this person's car several times to make them afraid, so that they were like, oh, so that they would think, oh, this is a bad area. I'm not safe here. I've had to like fix this on my car several times. Like I have to go home. I guess this wasn't what I thought it was. It's something here like that, you know? But it was hidden. And there's some kind of something being revealed about this, because there's a period of judgment. Now, there could have been a period of judgment if this child didn't comply. If they were actually like, no, I'm going to follow my heart on this. But this parent is really suave about it. And they've been doing it since this person was a child. And I think this person could have had a lot of, like they could have seen this parent as like a King of Pentacles type person, somebody that is noble, somebody that is a stable in their life. But if they think this parent is a stable in their life, it's only because this parent intentionally sabotages their other relationships. And people that are actually stable, they intentionally sabotage those relationships in order to Oh my gosh, I just saw from Rapunzel the mother knows best. You know, it's like and it's in order to like clip their wings so that they don't actually like leave the nest. So this is where I'm saying it's like I think young adulthood, like teenager, young adulthood, like emerging adulthood, that time period is really going to expose the fact that this is not a parent. This is like a puppet master, and their head's not on straight to be a parent, because the ultimate goal of parenting is that your child can go off on their own, find their independence, be healthy, create their own life, their own family. This person was the most afraid of this child here going off, creating their own life. And because it's not about the control, because when this person says, listen, my wife needs me to do this, well, that's not going to sit right with this parent. They want control. There's also something to do with an image. And I think for some, it has to do with like the family image. Like, what does it make us look like if our child leaves and goes so far away? This parent is so strategic. They're like, it kind of exposes the fact that maybe things weren't, even though it's like kind of quiet, like the fact that our child chooses to be away from us, if the parents are still together, or like that the child chooses to be away from me, that exposes that maybe they think that it means something on them, like less on them. Like it means that maybe they don't love me or whatever, or that I'm not like as good a person. For some, there's like a family business here. And it's like, if my child doesn't choose to stay here and like to take over the family business, then what does that look like? You know? Or that's my dream. Because again, there's strategy here, there's control, and it's like through finances, and it's through schmegs, and it's through like, for some, this person is like not above throwing schmegsual partners at their child in order to trap them, in order to keep them to stay. And they lure them in by some kind of offer here. And whatever offer, it's like, oh, well, you'll still be independent, you know, but you'll just be doing this. Like maybe it's like, oh, I'm going to offer to put you up in some kind of a this or this kind of situation or that kind of situation. But they'll be waiting forever. The actual intention of this is distance and stagnation, and to try to change their opinion, it's mind control, it's manipulation. Like over time, you'll see that this was the best option. So for some, this parent is like, this is very narcissistic. Like whatever's going over here, it's like this parent is like delusional, because it's like they are doing something here for a selfish reason. But I think for some, these parents tell themselves like, over time, you'll realize that we have to be together. Like, you know, I was always right. But I don't think that's the case here, because this is very karmic. And this person cut this person's legs out from under them, or tried to. Because if this child resisted, I feel like there was some kind of judgment energy here that was like put into motion, or so it actually revealed something here. Or it's because something was revealed here about what was actually going on. Like if this child was like, no, like I have something that I want over here, then it could have put some kind of judgment energy on this parent. Yeah. It just ended. Oh, it was a judgment because it ended their control. It was supposed to end their control. But this parent shouldn't be trying to control anyways, you know? So that's what the judgment is. And this is an ending energy. And that, okay, I get it. That's what the judgment ending is. Because there would be some kind of final decision here about a pace and a place and a person, something like that. And that's going to unearth this parent's fears that they try to mask with their control of this child. And through manufacturing some kind of, oh, this is a very unhealthy dynamic, and some kind of like codependency. They want this child to be dependent on them, but under the guise of independence. They just want control. And this child moving away is going to really, this could be some kind of psychological break, but it unearths all of their fears. I just heard all my scars are open. All their fears, they have to actually confront them, which is actually very healthy. But if this child goes back, I feel like they could get stuck. But it's like stuck because of the trappings, because this parent is putting walls up around this child, but it's under a different guise. And the reason as well that this parent has been able to maintain their false identity, not just potentially within this family unit, like to their child and to a different community, is because their strategy, their little bullshit things that they line up here, they say it's for one reason, like a parentally acceptable reason, but it's actually for another reason, and that reason is control. And I mean, they're trying to control maybe their money, but they're trying to control their maybe emotional state more than others, and their image. This parent is very, very all about their image. They want this child to feel quivering. They want this child to feel like they're not able to face the world alone. They want to get this child in their head about something, and they're implanting false thoughts to make this child insecure. So, and I keep saying child. This is this parent's child, but this is like an adult. So they're jittery. I mean, if they can break free, they'll come up out of this, because I feel like that's naturally their energy. Maybe they see this mirrored in this love interest that they have. They are naturally more stable than they really are. They're much more capable. They've got this leadership quality. They have this ability to manage their emotions and to not be affected by things. It's just that they've been fucked with for a long period of time, just flicked in the face, because this parent subtly makes suggestion. And I think they make suggestion about how other people may feel about them that's wrong. It's not true. Like, oh, well, they probably just think that you're inadequate. Like, that's the subtext. No matter. Why don't you come back over here? You know? But really, these people don't find this person to be inadequate. I think people actually see this person like they see this love interest. Or some kind of older sister over here. They see them with leadership capability, as strong, as confident. You know, like they actually do see this person in a highlight, but it's just this person has been confused and deluded and manipulated. And this parent is like, oh, well, it's not a bad thing to do because I'm going to get what I want. At least we'll be together. This is potentially, I don't know what's going on. There's definitely psychological issues here. For some, this is like it's like cluster B diagnosis, Machiavellian, dark triad traits. And for others, I mean, this is like an extreme anxious attachment style gone wrong, because they think, oh, everything's fine if we're together, and I'm going to justify. Justification is the root of all evil, and there's a lot of evil here. It was just hidden, and it doesn't get called out as evil. So this parent feels they never get called out. Not by their community, not by their friends, not by their family, and certainly not by their children, because they're so adept at getting away with this. Because they never get caught, they don't recognize that they're actually evil. This is an extreme amount of evil, really. But it looks like nurturing, or it looks like stability, or it looks like an offering. And they're a master at doing that, making it seem like I'm in a giving role. This is rescuer, victim, persecutor. And I feel like this parent has a good way of subtly though, saying, oh, well, that love interest was a persecutor. You're a victim. I'm your rescuer. Come back to me. This is gross. It's a little bit Oedipal. Like, it's a little bit Oedipal here. But from the parent to the child. And they want this child, oh gosh, it's like they want them to suckle at the teat, you know, for an eternity. And it's not natural in this person. This person is strong. They're independent. This person is way more independent. And that's a good thing. But this parent doesn't see it that way. So they try to disable it in this person. And this child has an intuition about this as well. Because whatever it is that they went off to, there's a lot of love over here. It was their path. It's like they got free. They went towards their path. And if they went back, then it's like they turned away from developing a strong sense of self, a strong sense of philosophy, a strong community, some kind of leadership potential, a strong love interest. It was God that was like calling this person over to this other place. And like it was a healthy leap of faith. But this parent is in very like anti-Christ, anti-God, like very oppositional energy to God to try to lure this person back into their trap. This is a very karmic relationship, very karmic. But it's probably, you are probably confused. I just heard left on red. So like this, whoever this child is, whether it's a male or a female or however you were involved with this person, because it could be for anything, right? But especially if you were like a love interest here, and this person just like, I just heard ghosted, or they just like up and left, it's because they were like, oh, I knew it, like, kiss my ass kind of thing. Like, oh, I was trying to offer you this, but then they offered you something very small and flimsy. It's like, oh, I wanted to offer you my flower, but then like, I guess my parent was right. Well, it's because they were mind controlled, and they were potentially having conversations, and maybe this is just the way that they grew up. Like this parent over the time of their childhood implanted certain disempowering beliefs, and all of it kind of came to a head. I feel like they had a conversation though with this parent or something, and it was like, well, this is waiting for you. So if that doesn't work out, and this person just cut off, and then they like left. For some of you, that's what happened, and it was very cocky as well, or just very like, and they thought that it was like, yeah. And then there was probably some kind of prolonged period of stagnation. And I think if you were the love interest, like you still had a lot of love for this person. I think you were very confused. You felt like you were disrespected in the situation, and you could have thought this person was out womanizing, and honestly, they could have been. Because that suits the parent. Isn't that wild? It's like this child could have been in like a honestly like very healthy, very suitable, powerful relationship. But instead you want this child to not have stable relationships and to dick off and stuff over here, or to not have any relationships, to just stagnate in that arena. That's what you want? It's very selfish. It's very, very selfish. They tried to cripple this child in some way. Their self-esteem. It's like they tried to cripple this person's self-esteem into their mind control. But whatever this other path is, it's like it's got the seeds there where for them to gain their own self-confidence. But this parent tries to control their confidence with either with money or with some kind of offering. But this offering, it looks like the parent is the savior, but really the parent does something in the background. Whether that's in their mind or whether that's actively in the world. This is a very, very sneaky, trifling person. Oh, trifling came out in another reading. So maybe for some, this parent is one of those false king of pentacles. From another reading that I did recently. They could have strategically manufactured grief. For some of you, I keep getting this. Okay, this isn't for everybody, but I'm just getting this parent could have paid somebody to sexually rival and maybe even to like harm in some way this feminine or this Queen of Cups. So this could be a masculine or a feminine. This person that this person loved. Or to I just heard sabotage like their car or their equipment or something here. In order to, yeah, this is messed up. This is a real piece of work. And I feel like the family dynamics are all the way off, like, but it's not seen. And I think even like if you grow up in an environment as a child, that's all you know, and your brain's not fully developed, and it can be very damaging because you can think that it's normal. And I think this parent does a really good job of appearing normal, but really they're an angry person and they're a very controlling person. They like to make quick work of things. But that's why they set certain things up, like in their child's psyche or in their environment, so that whenever they need to pull a string, they can make some kind of casual suggestion. They know exactly what to offer, the carrot or the stick, and this child jumps. They like to make quick work of things, which is why they laid some kind of hidden groundwork. And I feel like it's mechanisms of control here. And it's through like some kind of training, some kind of building up of like, well, of dependence. Yeah, it's like I'm always the one with the answers, but really this parent is sabotaging. And it could be, it's very delicate. It's like a very steady hand that does this. So it could be through a very passive way of like, oh, I should have actually done this thing for you. I should have double checked to make sure that you did that as part of my parenting responsibilities. I should have made sure that you could go on that field trip or whatever. But they don't. And then this child's like, oh, dang, I forgot to get my mom to sign that. But really they're not being parented. And this parent is like, whoops, I guess you didn't get to have that experience or something. It could be through a very passive process of like the things that the parent doesn't do, but the parent should kind of be on top of because they're the parent. Could be through neglect or just a very passive voice is what I'm hearing. But it also could be through active. But I think the active stuff is hidden or masked. Where this parent says, oh, I'm doing this for this reason or this reason. But absolutely no, the fuck they're not. They're doing it for control. And to lure this child for some reason back into their grip, back into their trap, under the guise of independence, under the guise of a new beginning, under the guise of a peace offering, under the guise of partnership and love. And you've got to cut this person out. That's a negative thing. I'm the good one. It's very Mother Knows Best from Rapunzel. If they could lock this child away in a tower, they would. It's just that this child is very independent. So I know exactly how to play it. So anyways, that's what I have for you. This is crazy. This is some kind of hidden hand, hidden motive. This parent always has a hidden motive, but they have a hidden hand in this situation. And it affected your union. If you were the love interest, or you could have even, like this person, this could also be like a job or a degree program or something here. And this was a hidden hand. It was a hidden variable working behind the scenes, at the very least playing on this person's mind. This parent could have also tried to seem very judgmental about like what was hidden from them in the situation. Like, oh, I bet they're effing somebody else. Or I bet, meanwhile, this parent could have paid someone to maybe even attack this person. They're not above it. because I think the feelings were very mutual. Like this was kind of a destined or divine partnership here. So anyways, I'm going to leave that there. If that resonates, I'm so sorry. And please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye guys.